Hello and welcome back to James Smiles. God, hasn't it been a long time? And I'm sure that I look completely different to the last time you saw me. Now, it has been a very long time since I've made a video on this channel, but I'd just like to welcome you all back. Let's have a hug or something. And the reason I'm making a video is solely because we're all stuck inside and I haven't been able to visit the theme park, so my plan was actually to record some more vlogs this year for the first time in, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. So today I literally, as you've probably already seen by the title, just want to talk you through my favourite Alton Towers rides. And I want everybody who's watching this and has got access to a camera to spend some time this quarantine and make your own video and send it to me or something, or just post it on YouTube and send it my way, of your favourite rides at Alton Towers. And also celebrating the 40th anniversary of Alton Towers. I mean, 40 years, and I've only been there, I've only been visiting for the past maybe 5 or 6, but every single time I go, I'm thrilled. No pun intended. But yeah, it's a brilliant place. It's a shame that I can't visit right now, but no one can. And eventually, we'll all be back there, and I'm sure that the atmosphere will be fantastic. There's a few other videos I'm going to bring out about Alton Towers during this quarantine probably, but we're back to James Smiles, everyone. As hard as it is for me to even say that name, because it is cringy, I can't get rid of it. It's just strictly law now, isn't it? Number 1, the first ride that I would like to talk to you guys about, which is the absolute top of my list, is the Smiler. And look, the thing is, people say that this ride is rough. I think in comparison to rides like Rita and other rides I've ridden around the UK, and do you know what, even Soar, this Gerstlauer is an absolute beauty. And I had to say word it like that. I mean, I was in love with it from the beginning. That's why I'm James Smiles. But it's the atmosphere that the ride created, especially when it was first released. I think that the theming was really individual, and I've not seen it before. And the creative team obviously worked very hard to develop a sort of psychosomatic. What's the word? It's the one where, you know, it gets in your head. It's not so much even before you're on the ride. It's getting in your head. It's putting you on edge. And I think it's a fabulous ride. So obviously, for those who don't know, it is a Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster, and it was the first Infinity Coaster to be made. There has been a lot around the world that have been built that have definitely more exciting features, but I think it blew a lot of people away because I remember there was genuinely a group of people that thought that the secret weapon aspect of this ride was a piece of track that would sit in there and spin around like that. And I'll put something on the screen. I might have already put an overlay on, but how funny. That was never going to be the case, was it? I don't even know if that counts as an inversion. I mean, sure it does, but it's cheating. But what we got was amazing. 14 absolutely crazy inversions. I mean, I will give it to you. The last one, the last after the pretzel loop, whatever it is, that last bit, it really does smack you around. But I feel like if a ride doesn't push you just a little bit harder, than that, then what is the point? Like, I know people are getting very obsessed with RMCs, and from the ones I've been on, they're pretty smooth. But I like a ride that can throw me about a bit. So that's the Smiler. That's my number 1 favourite ride. Let me know what you think about the Smiler down there. Just a brilliant ride, brilliant ride. So my second favourite ride at Alton Towers is Nemesis. I adore Nemesis, and I'm sure a lot of people do. In fact, I'm certain that a lot of people do. So obviously it's a B&M. It's a B&M inverted coaster. It was built in 1994, which just feels like ages ago now. That ride's been there for a while, and I'm pretty sure it would have blown a lot of people's minds when it first came out. Obviously with John Wardley being the designer behind it. I mean, it's a fantastic ride. The thing about Nemesis, which is so unique and so amazing, is the fact that it's just carved into this mountain. So, well, they made a hole, a cavern, to put a roller coaster in to get over the height restrictions, and to me that's just fascinating, and it creates a completely unique atmosphere around that ride. There's no other ride I've been on in the world that's got the same feel as that ride. Obviously the water used to have red dye in it, and I think some of it slipped into a local lake, so for safety reasons they got rid of it, but it still looks great. It really does. But the way it roars around, it's a fantastic ride. I've done a review on my channel before about it and it has become a meme, but it's a fantastic ride. Let me know what you think below. Coming in at number 3 then is, well, ironically, put a 1 in front of that 3, 13. Yeah, believe it or not, 13 is my 3rd favourite ride. And it used to be a little bit higher. I just think it's a little bit simple. However, every single time I ride it, unlike some of the other coasters, when it drops down, I could say spoiler alert, but we've all been on it by now. When it drops down, it really does scare me. It's I'm trying to be family friendly without swearing for once, but yeah, straight down, your stomach drops. It's terrifying every single time. Even though I know it's coming, it just gets me. And I'm always one of them people, you know, where with the whole if your stomach feels a bit queasy, that just gets me on rides. But it's not only that. So this ride is an Intamin. I'm not even sure what model it is. I'm not very good at this theme park thing anymore, but it's an Intamin roller coaster, and it was like the first in the UK to have that drop track. I don't know if it was the first in the world. It could have been, no, but because I know there was other ones like for Bolton and stuff like that, but I don't know if they came after. So it probably no, it would have been because it's a world's first. All right, scratch what I said. I should have done my research first and stop being stupid. Yeah, so it would have been the first in the UK to do in the world to do that. So that's impressive as well. And I think it really sits nicely in the Dark Forest. At first, it was a little bit annoying because the way it sort of took over the area. But no, I definitely liked it. And then the way that Knox and Furnace came in. It's a great ride, and do you know one of the magic things about that is if you're going on it with someone for the first time, it's like people almost in the queue line. They won't. You don't. I never heard you try and not speak about what's happening, and still people do that. So you know that people won't realise you're about to fall down. I mean, it's probably very rare that a lot of people haven't been on it now, but I'm sure it happens. Let me know what you think about 13 down below. And also somewhere on my channel, it's a bit outdated now and I'm not a Roblox guy, but there is actually a Roblox recreation or a Minecraft recreation, that's probably it, of 13 somewhere in this channel. I really like the theme. I think the media coverage for it was a little bit strange because obviously it was sold more as a thrill ride. And it's thrilling, it's definitely more of a relaxing ride, but I just like the area, I like the way it feels. You know when you're just on a ride and you like the way it feels? And that first drop is epic. It really is, it gets you going, it's fantastic. So yeah, 13 is my third favourite ride. Flying in at number 4 is Galactica. And I'd like to say air, because it was always air, and it is in my heart. I'm not just being ignorant. I mean, I like the way it's jazzed up the area, and we've got the area looks better, and the coaster has had some maintenance. But it definitely is air for me, and since I was a kid, that's when it was my favourite. I've just had this like fascination with it. I love the way it makes you feel. I love that it's a roller coaster that's not based on scaring you. It's helping you with the ability to fly. And it came out in it was built in 2002. Also designed by B&M, and it was the world's first flying roller coaster. Now I can try and link to you down below. There's a book called Creating My Own Nemesis, and if I can just get some of the pages out of there, which is by John Wardley, and he talks about the way that they went about designing that, and it's fantastic. It's just a great engineering feat. It's one of them things, if you're a coaster geek, you can sit in the station and watch it move around, and it's just fascinating. There's just so much to love about that roller coaster. The VR was a disappointment. It was really good. They were trying to do something new, and it was fun, but it kind of just felt like a cheap way to bring some life back into the park. And the way it was promoted, and obviously someone who's into theme parks, I knew it was the same ride, but a lot of people thought they were getting something new and they weren't. But the roller coaster itself is magnificent. I absolutely adore it. It's great at night at Scarefest, and that's why it's my number 4th for flying, should we say. So my 5th favourite ride at Alton Towers, because that's what it is, ride, not roller coasters, not exclusively roller coasters, although that's what's been on the list so far, is Hex, The Legend of the Towers. Wow. Wow, what a fascinating ride. The whole backstory, the truth, the legend, it just really pulls you in, and it really brings to life what the Towers expresses, and I think they lose that sometimes with some of the new stuff, and they should focus more on the heritage, which they do, but you know, they could do it more. Like, it's just absolutely fantastic. I've always loved it. I think like the smell pods in there, and the way everything's dusty, and the way it actually goes through that first part of the actual towers. Obviously the actual ride's in a warehouse, but it's great. I've always loved it. I can mime along to it all by now, and it still doesn't bore me. And when you're a child, and if you've been on it when you were younger, it's especially insane. The fact that you can't figure out how it's doing that. I know now, but it just I couldn't figure it out. And you're like, oh, we're going upside down, and so it's great for the family as well. And when you're a smaller kid, it's not too scary, but it definitely puts you on edge. It's just super well themed. I'm glad they're looking after it, and that's why it comes in at number 5. I'm going to do a separate video on why Wicker Man isn't in this list. I don't think it's a bad ride, and I haven't got a grudge against it, but I just don't think it's an exceptional one either, and it doesn't really stand out to me that much. But yeah, thank you all very much. Thanks guys for sticking around and watching. I'm glad you've stayed if you have, and if you have, then I want you to comment this word, alright? Smile. Simply smile. And I think that's something we should hold on to now, is that we should just keep smiling and just focusing on what we love from home until this is over. Just stay safe, alright? Stay indoors, look after yourselves, and you know what, watch my old videos. It's nice to have you back. You know what I'm going to say now? Smile always.